Today, the world was shaken by a devastating event. An incident that may alter the trajectory of the ongoing Eastern European conflict. An incident that could ignite new flames between Russia and the United States. A massive American military transport aircraft, the C-130 Hercules, has reportedly been blown out of the sky by Russian air defense systems. The aircraft was carrying over 90 tons of bombs, deadly cargo that detonated in a terrifying mid-air explosion, lighting up the skies with a fireball visible for miles. The incident occurred earlier today as the U.S. Air Force's C-130 was flying low near a heavily contested region, close to the Russia-Ukraine border. The C-130 Hercules, known for its massive payload capacity and long-range capability, was on a high-stakes logistics mission, possibly part of covert Western support for Ukraine. Russian radar reportedly locked onto the aircraft shortly after it entered a restricted airspace zone. Within moments, Russia's S-400 missile defense system was activated. 2 medium-range surface-to-air missiles were launched. The first struck the aircraft's left wing. The second hit the belly of the plane, right where the bombs were stored. A blinding fireball erupted in the sky. Local witnesses described the sound as thunder from the heavens. The blast shattered windows and shook buildings miles away. Here's what makes this incident truly alarming. The C-130 was reportedly carrying over 90 tons of active explosives, likely a mix of air-to-ground bombs, cluster munitions, and heavy-duty military ordnance intended for frontline Ukrainian forces. Analysts believe the U.S. was expediting this shipment to bolster Ukrainian defense lines, especially amid Russia's renewed offensives in Donetsk and Kharkiv. But the shipment never made it. And worse, it blew up in mid-air, causing a catastrophic chain reaction. This isn't just a logistical loss, it's a symbolic moment, a clear signal that Russia is no longer just playing defense. Within hours of the incident, the Kremlin issued a firm statement. They claimed the C-130 was a direct threat to national security and declared that any foreign aircraft delivering weapons to a war zone is a legitimate military target. On the other side, the Pentagon has yet to issue an official comment, but U.S. defense sources, speaking anonymously, acknowledged that a transport aircraft has gone missing over contested airspace. International reactions are mixed, but tense. Some NATO members are calling for an emergency session. Others are demanding a full investigation. Meanwhile, Russia is standing its ground, framing the action as defensive and necessary. Could this be the spark that ignites something far greater? Now here's the key question. Did the C-130 simply stray into the wrong airspace? Or was this a targeted operation based on intelligence? Many experts suggest that Russian military intelligence may have tracked the cargo's origin and flight path well in advance. Satellite data, electronic surveillance, or even embedded informants may have played a role. So when the aircraft entered contested airspace, Russia was ready, locked on, and took the shot. Was this a one-time response, or the beginning of a new doctrine, shoot to deter? The destruction of the C-130 is a major blow to Western supply efforts. 90 tons of bombs. That's enough to support multiple operations on the front lines for weeks, gone in seconds. More importantly, the strike shows that Russia is now willing to strike logistics aircraft directly, even if they belong to NATO-aligned countries. That shifts the conflict into much riskier territory. It raises critical questions. Will the West respond? Will this restrict future arms deliveries? Or will it only harden NATO's resolve? Tensions are rising, fast. Local villagers near the impact zone describe an apocalyptic scene. The mid-air blast sent debris raining over a large radius. Some pieces of the aircraft fell into uninhabited forest zones, while others caused fires on nearby farmlands. Emergency services haven't been able to fully access the crash site. It's too dangerous, with unexploded ordnance still scattered across the region. Meanwhile, Russian media has begun broadcasting drone footage of the explosion and crash aftermath, fueling nationalist sentiment and stirring public support. This incident is more than just one explosion. It's a turning point. Will the US escalate or respond diplomatically? Will NATO increase its support to Ukraine or proceed with caution? Or will Russia continue to strike foreign aircraft suspected of arms deliveries? We don't.
Oh 5:45 a.m. NATO time. A U.S. Air Force C-130 takes off from a military base in Germany. Its mission? Silent, urgent, and high stakes. On board, bomb pallets, heavy munitions, precision airdropped ordnance, and vital military supplies for Ukraine's eastern front. No announcements, no press releases. This was a covert operation, the kind the world only learns about when it goes horribly wrong. Its flight path would take it dangerously close to Russian-controlled airspace, skimming past Luhansk, one of the most volatile regions of the war. One wrong turn, and the sky becomes a death trap. At 06:27 a.m., Russian radar picked up a large thermal signature, too large to ignore, too suspicious to trust. Command from Moscow orders the S-400 Triumph surface-to-air missile system to go active. The order is simple: engage, eliminate, do not miss. The first missile strikes the wing. The second hits the cargo bay. A massive explosion follows. The aircraft disintegrates mid-air. 90 tons of bombs detonate, creating a fireball seen from 40 kilometers away. A shockwave ripples across the sky. Civilian air traffic is instantly rerouted. The entire area is declared a no-fly war zone. What was supposed to be a silent mission just became the loudest political message of the year. This wasn't just another loss, this was a catastrophe. An explosion at 20,000 feet carrying enough explosives to level a city block. Falling debris scorched the ground below. Farm fields burned. Nearby homes suffered shattered windows and crushed walls from the pressure wave. Ukraine acknowledged the aircraft was indeed a military resupply flight, but they accused Russia of firing outside its legal engagement zone. Russia, however, responded with icy confidence. This was defensive action, nothing more. Two nations, two versions of truth, one undeniable blast. The US government remained tight-lipped, but insiders from the Pentagon leaked crucial details. The flight was a response to Ukraine's critical ammunition shortage, following heavy losses in the east. The Lockheed C-130 Hercules is one of the most trusted transport aircraft in the world. It's a flying fortress, rugged, reliable, and versatile. But today, it became a tomb. Carrying 90 tons of high explosive munitions, the aircraft took off from Ramstein Air Base in Germany, bound for a classified drop zone near the Ukraine-Russia front line. The mission? To resupply frontline forces in Kharkiv and Zaporizhia, areas under relentless Russian artillery pressure. The crew knew the risks. Russia had declared the airspace a kill zone weeks earlier. But the mission was marked urgent. Intel warned Ukraine could collapse within days without resupply. So they went anyway. At 06:37 a.m., 4 Russian radar posts detected a large target at high altitude approaching from the west. Within minutes, the 153rd Russian Air Defense Regiment deployed its S-400 Triumph system. 3 target locks, 1 launch command. 30 seconds later, impact. Missile 1 exploded near the left engine. Missile 2 struck the rear fuselage, right where the bomb cargo was stacked. The resulting explosion lit up the clouds. Eyewitnesses in Donetsk reported a sun-like flash in the sky followed by falling debris, some of it still aflame. The US C-130 never made it. The world woke up to horror. CNN, US aircraft destroyed, massive escalation feared. RT, Russia Today, American warplane eliminated in self-defense. Al Jazeera, US-Russia relations deteriorate after aircraft destroyed. BBC, what was the C-130 carrying and why? Within hours, the White House issued a statement condemning the attack as unprovoked aggression. The Kremlin countered, America crossed the line. We defended our airspace. We will do it again. The diplomatic lines are burning. The red phones are ringing. And NATO is now in emergency session. Leaked intel now confirms what many feared. The C-130 was carrying not just bombs, but advanced JDAM kits, guided artillery shells, and possibly a prototype drone-based jamming system. This was no routine cargo. It was a technological payload designed to shift momentum back to Ukraine. The kind of weapons that, in the wrong hands, would terrify any military planner. Russia's decision to intercept it wasn't just defensive, it was strategic. On board were 9 American servicemen. Their names are withheld, but sources say they were some of the most experienced airmen in Europe. They knew the airspace was hostile. They knew every second brought them closer to danger. And yet,